So I wanted to come today because it was International Women's Day on the 8th of March, and I wanted to just spread the message that the women in Palestine, we're here for them. There's no justice at the moment. They're going through the worst conditions. They're mourning. They're living in deprived conditions. They don't have, sanitary towels. There's so many pregnant women that aren't getting the pain relief that they need, aren't getting the care that they need after and before their pregnancy. And I'm just here to stand for the women today.
It feels so surreal. I feel like I've been living in a world for however many years, and I've suddenly woken up to realise it's not the world I thought it was. All these horrific crimes, I thought they were reserved for the history books, and we had learnt from our past, from the mistakes, from the horrific things that we were taught about as kids. But we haven't. We're just as bad, if not worse, than we were.
I'm a primary school teacher, so I work with children all day long, and then I go home or on my breaks or whatever, and I'm looking at it and I'm seeing children the same age that I teach, if not younger, dead. Their bodies all over the place, absolutely disgraceful, and how you can look at that and not want to do something is disgraceful.
So I'm a bereaved mum. My son died a couple of years ago. He was always a real activist. He used to wear this up at university up in Manchester. So yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm a bereaved mum. I'm standing, I'm talking for my son, I'm talking for all the other mums. It's Mother's Day tomorrow. I mean, I would not be here. It's the only place I can be.
We are here because we care deeply. Oh, I can't talk about it without getting emotional.
That's okay.
I know. It's been hard. It's so hard to see what's going on. People aren't waking up to what's happening. I haven't been doing for so many years. And this is really the tipping point now where more people have to come together. It's so important to come and be here and be present and show up to support them, because the world is letting them down, the government's letting them down, and they're just normal people that deserve a life.
On average, there's 10 kids every day amputated without any form of anaesthetic or pain relief. There's children burnt to the bone and there's no morphine to give them. There was a Palestinian mother that said, I wanted to kiss my child a final goodbye, but yet she had no cheek to kiss because her face had been blown apart. This must stop. The children and babies, they are the most innocent and vulnerable of us all, and we are duty-bound to protect them. As humans, that is compulsory on us. It shouldn't even be a question or a thought. It should be instant. We should know that there is nothing in this world that can condone or make it okay to kill a baby or to kill a child. And this is exactly what is being done. Innocent people are being killed, holding white flags, an international symbol of peace, and they're still being shot. What will it take for our government to react? Are they going to wait till the entire Palestine is wiped out, until every innocent person is killed? When will they act? When?
I think seeing children, I'm a mother to a young child, and seeing children torn to pieces and their parents in grief, it just breaks my heart.
And when you hear MPs say that Palestine protesters make them feel unsafe, what do you say to that?
I don't care. I think it's untrue. I'm so disappointed in our leadership. I don't care about what they say. I don't care. I think it's very clear. They're just so detached from reality and from the people. They just don't matter. And it's just a matter of time that they realize they are irrelevant.
The protests make them feel unsafe. How do they feel unsafe? Maybe they feel uncomfortable, and maybe that's what they're confusing with feeling unsafe, but nobody here is really causing any violence, I don't think.
They don't feel unsafe, they feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
They just can't look at themselves because the shame is just too deep.
And they're scared because it's making change, it's making a difference. And that's why they're afraid, that's why they're scared. And they should be, actually.
Yeah, the spotlight's on. Yeah, they can't hide.
I get why they would feel unsafe, because they are supporting a genocide. That is not an easy position to take in public.
The government are the ones who are promoting violence, not us.
And a number of MPs recently have said that Palestine protesters make them feel unsafe. What do you think of that?
I find it incredibly incredulous. They fear for their safety. We're out here because 30,000 innocent Palestinians have been murdered. We fear for their safety. So how they've been able to gaslight the entire public is astounding.
Can you tell me a bit more about what you thought of Rishi Sunak's statement outside Parliament the other day?
I thought it was ridiculous. It was scaremongering. Basically, it's very similar to Suana Braverman and the MP that was banned. It's stirring up hatred and trying to portray the protesters as, violent when they're not. The demonstrations are massively peaceful. There's hundreds of thousands have come on them. It's actually fueling the basic conflict within Britain. They're fueling the kind of conflict between the different religions.
I think they're the ones who make us feel unsafe. The fact that Rishi Sunak is he's inciting racial and religious hatred at the moment. That is essentially what he's doing. So he's creating a divide that is making a lot of groups now feel very unsafe. I never felt like an ethnic minority ever before, but I do now, and that's down to him.
Oh, Palestinians and Muslims in this country have become too extreme. It is a classic Islamophobic trope. We are on the streets. There are Jewish people on the streets. There are families on the streets. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people here on the streets, and the arrests, negligible. We're talking about dozens, which is way below the average of other protests. You're going to get people who are not in alignment with the majority here. But it's nonsense, is my answer to that.
Really, as a people who are protesting, it's kind of, you can see injustice being done and you step to the streets. That's as a human being, as a soulful being, that's the least that you can do. And if they want to try and control some of the narratives that's coming out, then great, it's like, do it. But people will just we'll keep doing what we need to do. And it's important that we do, yeah.
So are you worried about a wider crackdown on our civil liberties?
I am. I think it's going to happen. But you know what? The thing is, they're going to do what they see fit. And I think that we, as a people, will have to do what we fit, which would probably mean to step up and not let it become normal. If we let it become normal, they'll keep stepping up and up and up. So we as well, it's not, it is protesting, letting your voice be heard wherever you are and not be afraid to speak up. Yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, I'm someone who has always been like, I would vote Labour pretty much no matter what, just to get them into office. But at some point, it just doesn't make sense to vote for a party that is willing to be complicit in something like this, in the genocide that's happening right now. And I've chosen to basically leverage my vote in the name of that. I'm not going to vote for them unless they unequivocally support a full ceasefire. I think that the Labour and the Tories don't quite realise how much everyone is up in arms about this. Not just the people on the street, but the over 70% of people in the UK who support a ceasefire.
Do you think we have a functioning democracy in the UK right now?
Absolutely not, no. Two cheeks of the same arse, Tories and Labour at the moment, so what are we going to do?
We've got to keep on with the mission of showing up, building support until Palestine is free. Also, I'm Jewish and I'm increasingly, and always have been, sick of my Judaism being weaponised. When it's clear as day what's going on with the occupation of Palestine and the politicians weaponising anti-Semitism, majority of Jews I know what's going on, and so we're not going to stand for that.
It's horrific. We shouldn't be witnessing this. We shouldn't be seeing this. And this is a natural disaster or something like that. This is man-made. Humans inflicting this to others. So we can only shout. We come out to make some noise and say, we know what you're doing. We're not going to stop until you stop.